Okay, from here we shift our attention to the second group with the topic Native Speakerism and Linguistic Imperialism in the Thai English language teaching community. So this topic explores how native speakerism influences English teacher hiring in Thailand, often favoring native speakers over qualified non-natives. The phrase, "I was forced to dye my hair as a native speaker," symbolized the pressure on non-native English-speaking teachers to fit a biased image. It also highlights the impact on teacher diversity, discriminations, and the quality of English education. So now, please welcome our speakers from the second group. Please welcome.
All right, why don't you introduce yourselves first?
Okay, let me start with introduce yourself. My name is Fadila Mating. You can call me Fa. I'm a student from Faculty of Education English major.
And my name is Fatiha Daheng. Yes. I'm Amina Taye.
I am Nurhanan Kusharit.
I am Marisa Rasing Singh.
I am Saskan Jintan. I am an English major student from Faculty of Education.
All right, so first of all, I'd like to know what is native speakerism and linguistic imperialism. Could you briefly tell us definitions of both terms? Thank you.
Yes, native speakerism is the belief that native speaker of a language is better than non-native speaker, and the linguistic imperialism is referred to the dominance of a language. In this context, refer to English. It means like English have power or dominate other language. Yes.
Do you want to
I'm
add
going to
your
add some
friends
point
over
that native speakerism refer to the inner circle country, including America, England, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. It's considered as a native speakerism or inner circle country.
Do you think that this definition problematic in some point, in some way? The way that people define native speakers as people coming from inner circle. Do you find this definition problematic to a certain degree? Is it problematic? Yes.
Yes, I think it's a problem because when you define that, it's like you discrimination, like you are native speaker and you are non-native speaker. It's like you discrimination.
Actually, from my opinion, native speaker is like defined from the country that origin to like invention about English lexical. I don't think it's be problem at all, but it's gonna increase about the privilege in our society.
Okay.
It's kind of problematic.
Do you think that the Kasharu's tree model is like it reflects the realities nowadays? Is there any criticisms about this model, and is that fair, or is that sensible in the way that you identify the native speakers, particularly from inner circle?
Yeah, Ajahn Ami has mentioned that do you think that Kashu's classical model of English speakers is problematic in some way? Do you think it still works?
It's problematic because for some people that come from expanding circle, if they can speak like native speaker, So, so how we can put them? How we can put them in the expanding or native or inner circle because they can speak like inner circle. So this is a problem about Kashi model.
So, do you think that this model indicates speakers' level of proficiency? Does it indicate levels of speakers' proficiency in English?
I think Kashu models didn't indicate the level of proficiency, but indicate like where the user come from. Like if in a circle they come from like UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, something like that.
All right. Thank you very much for clarifying that. So you think that the Kasher's model is not reflect the realities nowadays, and the model doesn't indicate the people's proficiencies of English. Okay, so that yes, it is actually because like. Regarding to the globalizations, mobility, interconnectivity that we have nowadays, especially for like digital technology for now. So that circle is maybe, in my opinion as well, like is criticized. There is some weak point that doesn't reflect the reality nowadays. But back to your topic that you are to talk about, I would like you to clarify more about linguistic imperialism. In the way of English, like you think that English is or isn't imperialism, isn't it? So can you explain more or share your perspective about this?
Yes, linguistic imperialism in terms of English language, right? English language is come from indirect imperial in Thailand. It comes with education that come from some people that study abroad and come here to this country, right? And then they try to use English in the native speaker because they are learned and abroad. And of course nowadays is globalization, right? And every evolution and many things that come from Western cultures, that factors can make English become imperialized in that culture, in our cultures. Yes.
Is Thailand colonized linguistically? Is Thailand colonized linguistically? Thailand is not colonized historically, right? But I wonder whether it is colonized linguistically, in your opinion.
I think that Thailand was colonized by indirect. Yes, indirect in terms of it comes with education or political, right? And it comes with social, many things that use English, and all of us use English to communicate to other people around the world, and that can make English in Thailand become more important. That we.
Right. Can you give us a few examples of how language use in Thailand has been colonized linguistically? Can you give us some examples reflecting how the language has been colonized linguistically?
Okay, I think it's about education.
Yes.
Yes, our government get English as the second language for teach our students in Thailand. Yes, I think it did.
Yeah, more than 10 years ago, Thailand introduced the campaign called English Speaking Year. At that time, we the government appointed Tony Blair, former British Prime Minister, as English ambassador, to teach English in Thailand. At that time, people were frantic, were hectic about learning English because the government announced that they would make Thailand become second language country, become one of the second language countries. So people were so hyped at that time to learn the English language. And we have seen situations where people, camped overnight in order to get their seats for their students, for their kids at British Council in Siam Square, because in the hope that they could learn English with native speakers. You've seen, parents who camped overnight in order to study English with native speakers. So this is one of the examples showing that we tend to be affected by the ideology called East looks West. We tend to think that anything that comes from the West is better, including the English product. Okay, do you agree with this? So people in general tend to think that the version of English that comes from mainstream native-speaking countries is better than other versions of English. Does this reflect linguistic imperialism in the sense, in your opinion? Does it reflect linguistic imperialism? When we think that a product from a particular country is better than the product from another country.
Yes, I think yes, because the ideologies of native speakerism, that they believe that native speakers are better than non-native. So from that situation, it can be like native speakerism. Yes.
Yes, as it's been said by Fatiha before, that we don't have direct colonized, like in terms of historical, but we have the idea that native speaker is better than other variety of English in this world.
Why do people tend to develop the idea that certain kind of English is more powerful than others? Why do we have this kind of mindset that a certain linguistic variety is better than others? Why?
From in Thai context, from what I've read from the research, back to 18th century, when English starting to come to brought in Thai. At that time, only people like elite people study English. So English is a kind of a sign of value, high value.
People?
Yes. So it's influenced till today that Thai people see native English like UK or US is better than other varieties of English.
Well, as we're talking about linguistic imperialism in terms of that, they have the impact on education. So is there any perspective or any impact on you, or does linguistic imperialism influence something on you as a teacher of English in the future?
Yes, I think we has forced to teach based on the curriculum that rely on standard English. So we have to rely on that curriculum. Yes, and sometimes it make us like less confident about that. And from the research that I have read, that students feel like nervous when they have to rely on non-standard English when compared to their English that they're familiar with nowadays.
Okay, and how will you handle with these situations in the classroom? It's like even now somehow you are feel that you are imperialized in like you are, let's say, you have impact on this kind of thing like linguistic imperialism, and how do you handle your feeling as the students, and how will you do for your students in the future? That's two questions.
I think we should teach our students to be proud of their own English, because nowadays we learn more about global Englishes, the variety of Englishes. So they should be proud that their English is an unique English, and everyone in every country has their own unique English. Yes.
Do you think that it's difficult to teach them to be proud of their own variety of English? Because because I experienced this myself, and I find it hard to increase this kind of awareness, right? People, students still are not proud of their own variety of English. Can you tell us? What do you think about this? Why do Thai people, do not have pride, do not take pride in the English they use?
Well, I think it's really hard to make them proud of their
Yes.
varieties, because for some reason, like for me myself, I was pretty embarrassed when I have to speak English in Thai accent
Yes.
at the time, like when I was in high school. But then I get a chance to study with with foreign teachers, and I found out that no matter what accent you are speaking, what accent you have, but still that foreign teacher can still understand you. So, but however, it's just that it's really hard to make them proud of their
Yes.
variety.
Yeah, because we have to make a distinction between norm-providing country and norm-dependent country. Okay, Thailand is one of the norm-dependent country. We do not have our own norm, unlike ESL countries who tend to develop their own linguistic features like Singlish, Manglish, Hindi English as used in India, for example. So we have never developed our own norms. That's why we are norm-dependent country. This means that we have to rely on norm providers, including America, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So when we are norm-dependent, right? When we are classified as norm-dependent, we are not satisfied with what we have, right? We have to cling on, the models that is introduced by, norm providers. That's why this could be, the reasons why we cannot take pride in our own language variety. But if you ask Singaporeans, if you ask Malaysians, of course, many of them would say that, Singlish is part of our culture. Right? We use it all the time. So Singlish is my culture. Right? That's why they can take pride in their own variety of English. Because I read an article somewhere that Singapore ambassador to the United Nations once said that when I speak abroad, I should hope that my countrymen would have no difficulty understanding that I'm from Singapore through the use of Singlish. See, so this person, takes pride in his own variety of English, because, he's one of the developing countries, right? So that could be the reason you find it difficult to encourage students to be proud of their own variety, right? Okay.
And don't you think that actually we were imperialized by other factors, not only education? Is it, in your opinion, do you think that we have linguistic imperialism only from education, not other factors?
In other domains of language use, not just education field?
The main factor is from education, but there is another factor like technology and innovation as well, like technical term, something.
Okay, for me, I think like the government also impact on this term because like the government usually promote the policy about having a native speaker. Yes, so so teacher have to follow the rules.
What about the media? Does the media influence the way we perceive English, the way Thai people perceive English?
Yes, media was another factor that improvised English in Thai cultures because nowadays it was globalized, right? Everyone can see in many things in the world, and that means we can communicate other people from Western or from the native speaker, and also the native country was separate their culture from in the medias as well. Yes.
From this point, do you think that when I have realized from watching kind of like Thai series nowadays that they kind of like use the code mixings and somehow code switchings in the series of Thai. Do you think it is somehow that we are improvised by English in some way? Or do you think that using code mixing or code switching in this kind of media or in our real life is acceptable? Because like if we accept to use it, it means like we are okay to be improvised, isn't it? So the first one, do you think that this is somehow that because like we use code mixing and code switching, it is somehow that it is a signal of being improvised or not, in your opinion?
I think yes is one of the signals of that we always paralyzed from English. That and another thing that I would say that pluralism is have a benefit and also have advantages and disadvantages. Yes, for example, like for benefits, we feel like we can get in and go globalization being international in terms of using language because nowadays English is become a global language, right? And for in terms of disadvantages, it can make some youngers in Thailand they was think that Thai language are not important to them, or like it can make them think that English is more important than Thai language. Yes.
And do you think in this point, do you think in this at that point, do you think that it will affect on the use of Thai in the future by the young generation? So do you think that way or?
Yes, I think yes, it can affect. As you can see in nowadays, many youngers was use English in daily life, like code switching and mixing. Like we can see that in terms of slang, that many youngers used to mix between Thai or English, and anyways that adults like everyone here didn't know enough about what is younger Thai try to express and use English with in daily life. Yes.
Okay, thank you for your response. So very fruitful. Can you tell us the consequences of native speakerism and linguistic imperialism? Maybe in the field of education, because it's the field that you are familiar with.
Okay. The belief of native speakerism, native speakerism and linguistic imperialism affect on English education in terms of hiring practices. Like school prefer to hire the native speaker more than non-native speaker because they believe that the best model for teaching and learning is from inner circle like US or UK.
Okay. Can
But because that's make the point, but how do we handle with the situation? But even the parents, most of the parents require the teacher from another country, and some of them they don't know whether they are native or non-native of speakers because of lots of schools in Thailand or especially in our area. A lot of teachers of English are from Philippines, but they are not in the inner circle. So what do you think about this point?
For me, I think that many schools they hire Philippines because of Philippines is the one of country that didn't know Thai at all. Yes, because from parents or children or teacher, they want to create an environment in classroom like all of English. And for student perspective is when they want to speak out, they just have to speak out with English without Thai because Filipinos didn't know Thai. Yes.
But I think a Thai teacher also speak English all the time, isn't? So it's like, so it's quite controversial in this way. But from your opinion, if you in the future, if you were like the parents, which one do you prefer? Like learning English from Thai teachers or learning English from non-Thai teachers?
I prefer my children to learn English with Thai English teacher because when my children don't understand about the lesson, the teacher could explain in Thai, so it's better. But
how about if those native or foreign teachers can understand Thai very well? Will you still choose your children to learn English with Thai English teacher or those foreign teachers who can speak Thai and understand about Thai culture very well? Foreign teacher understand.
I still choose.
Yes, yes.
I still choose Thai English teacher because Thai English teacher familiar and know the culture, Thai culture, and know like what way the student love to learn.
But there are many studies mention that if those foreign lecturers has been living in Thailand for many years, there is high possibility that they will understand the culture of Thai very well. Yeah.
I want to say that I still choose Thai English teacher because
Yes, I like that. I like that because like she has strong point. Yes, carry on.
today English is global language, right? So I want to support, want to raise awareness of my children to know about Thai English more. So in terms of standard English, the teacher could can like bring native English, like doing some activity using native English, but in Thai English, I want to raise awareness of my children, so I choose.
Based on your perspective that you have just mentioned and thinking of one statement proposed by one particular scholar in academic
I'm about to ask about this. Like, is English a language killer of any languages? That's why I asked once before that is there any impact on the use of Thai?
In many English language policies from different countries, that English is considered as a compulsory subject and implemented in the curriculum a lot. And those policies mainly focus on their citizens to learn English, and sometimes they just ignore their local language. So what do you think about this particular situation? Do you think English is considered as a killer language? If we just mainly focus on, teaching English, for example, in our curriculum, and we just abandon our, local language, for example, will English will be considered as a killer language, from your opinion?
There will still have change in the future, but for Thailand, I think Thai still have Thai language as an official language. So Thai people mostly use Thai language in terms of communication, and we have to raise awareness of our students to be aware of be aware about English as well, to cultivate our belief that our identity is better.
Can you guys share with us, your experiences of communication? I mean, you can share your communication experiences that show that you are affected by people holding the idea of native speakerism and linguistic imperialism. Have you ever been involved in any situations where you are affected by these schools of thought?
It's quite interesting. I'm still thinking because sometimes.
Have you ever been affected by these, two ideologies?
Can you provide some examples based on your daily experience?
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm still thinking whether am I in that situation. Like, we had a meeting, and in the meeting, most of us are Thai. Most of us are Thai, but eventually one of the member, but only one or only three, but they were only two lecturers that they are not Thai, and we still most of the time we spoke in Thai, but eventually the committee of that meeting switched into English, and we speak English just for a short term, just for her, and then go to another person's. We switch to Thai again. So I think maybe it is somehow that it shows a lot. It shows linguistic imperialism as well, or maybe it also share about etiquette in global situations. So is it somehow this situation somehow showing we were imperialized?
I'd like to share mine. Years ago, I was asked. Me and my another foreign teacher were hired to judge a speech contest, and then when it came to payment, the payment was not in the same rate. I got paid as a Thai citizen, but another teacher got paid as a native English teacher. But my friend, my colleague, is not a native English speaker. He's from German.
But he got paid.
He got paid at the rate for native speakers. I already explained this to the organizer, but they didn't realize this fact, right? So they treated people by physical look, right?
Have you ever experienced something like this?
Have you ever experienced anything like this? when you are treated differently simply because you are from different linguistic backgrounds or based on your appearance?
I didn't experience directly, but I saw on the social media that a person from native speaker country was hired by the school, but that person didn't have certificate related to education, but they still hired by the school with a high salary.
Yes, sometimes we did the equal amount of job, but when it came to payment, we didn't receive the same payment, right? Simply because we do not look like someone who is from inner circle. We do not look like a Caucasian individual. Right?
From this point of view, I have further discussions like if in the futures you are a member of the government and like education, like talking about educational policy, do you have any ideas about this, like to make a change about put it away from linguistic imperialism?
How would you market your campaign, to get rid of these two ideologies, to make people aware of these two ideologies and their consequences?
Okay, I just want to make it clear, just to provide another example from my own experience. Okay, one of my other friends, okay, he or she tried to apply for university lecturer in Bangkok. Okay, and he passed the teaching demonstration. Okay, he passed the interview. Okay, and then he has been waiting for a few days, waiting for the result from the calling from the university, but no response about it. And then he made decision to make a phone call to the university himself. The staff mentioned that you all passed the teaching demonstration, your interview station, blah blah blah, but because of your external appearance doesn't match to the perception and belief of the parents of the students in Thailand. That's why we are not able to hire you. And some
Cameroon.
yes, and he has like a he doesn't have a blue eyebrow and white skin. Instead, he has like a tan or black skin, for example. So it's a kind of external appearance, play crucial roles. If what particular organization or school will hire you or not. Yeah. So that's another example.
As a member of educational organization, I think I will change the curriculum that I will create my own curriculum that rely on Thai English. Yes, and in terms of that, Dr. Yusuf shared about appearance that don't look like Caucasoid. I will, as a small teacher in the school, I will change my student and their parent attitude. Yes.
Do you think that such that easy to change the attitude of the parents?
It takes time, I think.
Isn't it like, I would say it's like in reality, the parents, lots of parents, like they focus on appearance,
Yeah.
and they don't even know or like identify which one is native speaker or non-native.
And many school administrators like to hire a backpacker, Many foreigners visiting Thailand and sometimes just looking for a job without their qualification, but their external appearance, blue eyebrow, hair, white skin. This can attract the parents of learners to send their children to their school.
Who knows, like in the future, one of you or a few of you might be like school director, so you have the opportunity to change something. Yes. Very nice.
So how about you guys? Any questions from the audience? We have a couple minutes. A couple minutes. Oh, okay, good. Go ahead.
Actually, it's not a question, but I want to share some experience of native speaker it's the first time that my high school increased the tuitions, and the reason is that they hire a white teacher. But actually, when I study, he is not a native speaker. He's from Croatia. Yes, and that the school have to hire him double more than the last teacher, and that affect the student of my ex high school, that we have to pay tuition more because we have to hire a white guy, and he cannot just speak like fluently. He is the same level as Thai, but his salary was double, and I think it is unfair to hire him. Yes, we can hire other people like Philippine people with a lower rate, and he can speak more fluently. I think that is why native speakerism is a problematic, and I think if you ask me, is English a killer? Is a killer language? For me, I think it is partially and gradually, because from my experience, when I learn translation from English to Thai, I know my problem that I have affected a lot by English perception. When we translate into Thai, we use English structure in Thai language. For example, we use the pronoun it, too much in Thai, which is actually is not a Thai native language. For example, we use like a man. We when we translate into Thai, we use man a lot, which is not not sound natural in Thai. Yes, and sometimes the new structure like มันยากที่จะมันง่ายที่จะ I just know that it's not a Thai. It's just from yes, and when the teacher give me a point, they will deduct it because it's not sound natural in Thai, and I didn't know that. I think it was Thai because I heard many people speak that way. Yes, and I just know it's the impact of English.
Yeah, because we still have time, and I still have my questions, because most of you, I would say most of you can speak Malayu, isn't it? Don't you? So is that somehow that Malayu, is Malayu? It should be Malayu, right? Is Patani Malayu? Is it like a kind of local Malayu? So this Patani Malayu is somehow linguistic imperialism in the society. Yes, it's because I was born here, but I don't speak Patani Malayu because I'm not Muslim, but we still live in the society. And then somehow I think, well, yes, is it or is it not imperialism of the language? Because I think the policy of the government should put another policy for people in the South that we should learn Malayu as a second language. Because here is very multilingual society. And I found myself that some situation put me in the difficult situation that I couldn't speak Malayu. So is this somehow is this linguistic imperialism in this society as well? It's not only English. I think yes, I think it's also another language can be imperialism linguistically. Yes. Yeah. So any questions? It's just in my mind. Okay. So,
actually, before we finish this session,
yeah. Yes.
We're talking about native speakerism or linguistic imperialism. This situation is not only happening among non-native, but even native speakers. This also happens. For example, if you are from, even though you are British, passport or American passport, if your external appearance, doesn't look like white Caucasian, not blue eye, brown hair or white skin, you still will be considered as a second-class citizen among native speakers.
Yeah, this point is very interesting. Yeah, to
Yes.
see this example, you can go to bookstores. You can go to bookstores and see, book covers, who are used to attract readers. There are no black people at all. There are no Asian people who are used to market, to attract readers. Only white individuals, the faces of Caucasian people, are used to attract readers. This has instilled our beliefs that the best teachers are those coming from the inner circle, those Farang teachers, right? And we have been brainwashed, we have been trained to believe that, people other than inner circle people who looked black or yellow are second best teachers, right?
Yes, I would say that because I was asked by a lot of people that why didn't I work back in England, because I spend lots of my time doing my PhD there and I can ask a job there. But even myself, I answered that, well, even I'm a English teacher and I can teach English language similarly to native speakers or maybe better than them, but I still be treated as a second class. Yeah, because English is not my first language. And of course of my appearance, they still be judged by this kind of criteria. Yeah.
To summarize this session, these examples that we both mentioned, that Ajahn Yusuf mentioned and your friend have mentioned, are reflective of the so-called native speakerism and linguistic imperialism. So we as educators, are responsible for getting rid of, these ideologies because they have negative consequences on education as a whole. Okay.
Okay, so thank you for all of audience and our speakers that have shared about their own personal experience. So thank you for your participation. Okay, we have learned so many things. Yeah, do you want to sum up?
Okay, let me sum up as a MC here. So these speakers in this group has discussed so many insightful ideas in the terms of native speakerism in Thai. So Thai people might perceive that the best or the better language is English. That's because of in the past only elite people can access English, and in the terms of implication in education, using native may cause students' confidence to be lower. However, there is a challenge that we can make students proud of their English because we are in the country that considers as norm dependent. And additionally, one of the interesting point here is that whether to choose native English teacher or Thai English teacher, no matter which side will you choose, there will be advantage and disadvantage regardless of their external experience. But I would like you to know that we should prioritize the proficiency of the English teacher. Thank you.